The study that I talked about that we did with the economic development around the city, it is for just that reason that I did the study, is, to go to the mayor and to the council and say, we need to increase the number of officers to meet the growing demand of the development around the city. And we looked at 17 areas total, 14 that have immediate short-term need for me to add officers for the patrol area. So the answer to your question is we didn't decrease when we did the redistricting. We actually added some officers here, but there is more coming out, and they will be coming, additional officers.
But the seniors feel more comfortable when you have a presence and see they're visible. And Officer Tate, one of the officers in the past, would come into the senior building at the Wesley House. They would come and do workshop periodically, letting the seniors know how to stay safe.
We can do that.
But we have to
I live right next door. I can do that. Somebody cook me dinner. I'll be over there every night.
And can I just say, just to piggyback on the chief, unlike other jurisdictions that sort of wait until things are built and then try to figure out sort of security and crime and things like that, MPD is extremely proactive about working with residents and working with the development community as well about potential development before these things are built, as well as after they're built, and about how to enhance crime around them. So
and I tell you, the Lowe's, I think, is the next thing coming in here. And the one thing that I think we should just mention and think about is the other potential for that to change the dynamics a little bit here is, I don't know if it's going to have, I would imagine we'll probably have a collection of day laborers that, like with the Home Depot. And so that, unfortunately, in places where the day laborers, hardworking people trying to get a job, go and do some work, they're typically the victims of crime. So, making sure we work really hard with people when those day laborers, once that Lowe's comes in and opens up, try and make sure people are safe.
And just one last point, I have to leave, I don't know if there are any questions for me directly, but sometimes a lot of the crime that comes when you have these developments, some of it, what the chief mentioned, is folks breaking into cars and things like that. Sometimes a lot of it is actually inside of these stores, and it's you all are the victims. It's sort of the deaths from these stores. I know as a prosecutor, I prosecuted a ton of deaths from Lowe's and Home Depots and when I was in Maryland. And I'll tell you, those theft prevention officers that had their work cut out for them inside of those stores. And so many times you all have the targets inside these stores. It's the items that are on the shelves when they go inside these stores. So unless there's any other questions for me directly, I want to thank you all again for allowing me to speak, and I will definitely take up on the invitation to come back to see you. Okay, well, if to the extent I can be helpful to work with you all to see whether or not there's one of the buildings around here you might be able to use, or whether or not there's some resource that DCPS or MPD. I know
it's the community room in 5D.
Huh?
You can use the community room in 5D.
Absolutely. We've been invited there several times. Nobody seems to want to use it. Also, we have a community center that they're trying to charge us as homeowners. We live here to use the community center to have meetings. I think that's ridiculous. And I use the report for certain meetings, and I have to take the people who say work overtime home.
Okay.
Because they're not paying them overtime. So we've been trying to work on that for years.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll have Jeanette, who I'm sure is taking notes over on the phone, follow up with Ms. Griffin about that issue in particular.
One more question.
Sure.
Is there something you can give me to, I've been trying to talk to everybody about having the city to come and fix our roads, streets and roads, because we're not responsible for the sidewalks in Fort Lincoln.
So if there is a particular sidewalk, the number to call is
the whole Fort Lincoln.
so
I mean, that's my job. You're right. And you're really right. Fort Lincoln, the whole Fort Lincoln.
So what it may be worth doing is to work with you all and work with Commissioner Manning and Commissioner King about trying to coordinate a walkthrough. I've used that tool. I've used that tool in other neighborhoods. We bring the Director of the Department of Transportation, some of the representatives, DPW, to see firsthand what some of the challenges are in these neighborhoods. They have to make an assessment as to whether or not a road should be repaved. But sometimes it's good for them to see it firsthand, to what some of the issues are, and we compile sort of a punch list of items that need to be addressed. So we'll try to work on something like that as well.
And also the Ward 5 coordinator from the mayor's office should come to Mr. Williams. He should have also been invited as well.
He was invited.
He was invited?
Markham Williams.
Markham Williams, yes.
Okay, thank you all so much.
Commissioner Manning?
Mr. Harrison, I'm thinking,
Okay.
I get your email.
For them, the visual.
No, I don't get confused. No, that's why I was saying, because I just talked to him, I didn't realize he was here, so I would have, yeah, do you need his?
Yes,
Okay, let me just.
Okay, we're going to move right along with the panel discussion.
Can I ask that probably, I think the chief might be too polite to mention it, but I think she's got another event to go to. So
Right.
if we can take any more direct questions to her, then I and the lieutenant can sort of follow up on anything after that so that she can go.
The only one I have to still is, are you increased presence?
Yes, ma'am.
Are we gonna have that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's my neighborhood too.
Okay.
I'll tell you, you know, on midnight, on the overnight shift, I have to commend the 5D officers. You know, I know they patrol our up here, the homes up here on the hill, because last week, I don't know how it happened. I had, you know, my brother had been staying with me for a few days, and when my brother left, I don't know whether he left the garage door open or what, but I woke up at 4 in the morning to the police banging on my door, and I look out the window, there's 2 policemen standing there, and I went, well, the police are knocking on my door, I guess I'm going downstairs. And the officers apparently in doing their patrol not only noticed that my garage door was up, but that the trunk of my car was open. And I don't know whether the garage door was, my brother left the garage door up and then somebody actually popped my trunk open or what. They didn't take anything.
Okay.
But they noticed that it was up, and they noticed that it was up for, you know, a few minutes, and they kept waiting to see if somebody was going to come out and close the door, and then they came and banged on the door and woke me up. So, and then I hear the motorcycle guy when he comes up here and patrols, because I hear the motorcycle outside my window. But they are patrolling up here pretty.
I just want to make sure that we as senior citizens, including myself, we have more police around because we need it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I have a problem with traffic out there. I ride public transportation. And I get off the bus up there by the park. And you know, some lines there where you go down the steps across to the other side. Some of the folks are very, very nice. They see an old lady. They will stop and say, so you can come across. But the car behind them will pull around. Someone's going to get hurt. Seriously hurt.
Okay, we can do traffic enforcement up here.
And at Joshua Minor Drive and Fort Lincoln Drive, they slow down. They don't stop. They slow down.
Especially getting that curve.
31st and Fort Lincoln. 2 cars come down, they slow down, you're in the left lane coming down, but you know you can't park right there in front of Fort Lincoln, because we got the petition, put the signs put up. So they don't know this, and they come down, and they didn't want to cut in front of you, and you know, we're going to have a serious accident.
The lieutenant is taking notes here. She'll make sure that they do some traffic enforcement up here. I agree.
You get the pedestrian stop signs, but
3298, we did a petition and had signs put on the side where 3298 is, and they can't park down there because we had no view to 31st Street. You know, we had a couple of our residents get seriously hurt on that.
We can definitely help you out with that.
Yeah.
Oh, there.
All right, Chief. I live in a cluster called Mapleview, 3200 block of Vanderbilt Drive. And my unit is very close to one of those small transformers. As a matter of fact, it's less than 10 feet from my steps leading up to my door. And passers through sit on that transformer, congregate, drink, smoke pot.
What time of day is it they're hanging out there?
Almost any time. Almost any time. And I don't know it until I get ready to leave home or when I'm coming in. Because my bedroom's in the other part of the house on the front, and that's where I am.
Well, if they're drinking and smoking weed and things like that,
And arguing and that kind of thing. They don't live in that area. They use that as a stop to go through I live, Hillside is just on the other side of me, and they go through that area there, but, I don't like them sitting there, and I want to feel that I can call, 5D when I see them, so that they can be removed.
Yeah, you can call 911. If you have people loitering that are, drinking in public, things like that are out there, just dial 911, they'll dispatch a car.
Thank you.
Okay?
You know what time? Did you say what time?
Different times. Sometimes it's during the day, and sometimes it's in the evening, because I go to a lot of meetings, and sometimes they may be sitting out there tonight.
Okay. Yes.
You do have, I've noticed, you do have visible police, even when Costco's closed. And, I commend you for sitting down in the little breezeway there, with people, with people coming up. My concern really is with the traffic too.
Yeah. There's definitely a big increase in traffic. The good part of the increase in traffic, what I'm seeing, is that it slows them down a lot on Fort Lincoln Drive when the Costco's open, because there's so many cars now. They used to be a wide open raceway, and so that has slowed down some. But on the other side of streets and some of the other streets, it's still just as much. Not stopping for the stop signs, like you said, rolling through those stop signs is a big deal. So we'll make sure we get some traffic enforcement.
Are they going to alleviate it? It's going to, of course, be more intense once the Lowe's and the rest of the
gas stations,
the stores.
And I'm very concerned, these public forums are pretty nice. And I get annoyed when we go back, now I'm the president of the tennis association in Wesley House, and Bernice is my vice president. And I'm sitting here watching the names, and we have called, how many times, Bernice, have you called for a representation from the 5th district, and no one have ever showed up to not one of our meetings? And we would call every single month.
Who are you calling?
Bernice, who are you calling? Look at the names.
Officer Tate's office.
When we spoke to Lieutenant Hughes, we left a lot of messages. Then we,
Yes, I have.
Wesley House?
Wesley House.
We've been to your meetings.
This one time, that's been more than a
We
year.
stopped calling because we called 3 times and we didn't get any response.
Well, I almost didn't get your invite. I don't remember where originally. I guess there was some. I got it yesterday. I literally got your invite yesterday, and I'm doing all these inaugural meetings, and that's one of the reasons why I have a short stay. But because it's my neighborhood, and I want to make sure it's here.
Phone calls, and we get a little angry because we feel like seniors stay so
Okay, so
about us, and
we'll take care of
we're
that.
not return our phone calls.
let's make sure that they have the right person to call, and then.
Yeah, because Bernice does the phone call, and I said,
I don't know if you call, I just send me an email, I'll make sure.
Not a lot of these folks here don't have email.
Can I just say that Lieutenant Hughes, Command Soldier, are they respond to everything. Every civic association meeting I've ever attended or email that has gone out to them, they have responded immediately. They will even text message you or just show up at your door. So I'm not sure where the communication lies.
The person you really need to talk to is the lieutenant for this area. If you don't have email, she can give you your cell number or whatever. But that's the person. She's the chief of police for this area. This is her job, is to coordinate resources and make sure we attend. Now we can't always attend your meetings,
we understand that,
but we should be able to come on a regular basis.
If you don't want to be
responded.
represented, that's what
I
we do.
understand.
We'll take care of it.
Well,
Well, now you know the right person.
Yeah, I apologize for that. We'll fix that.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
All right, so is that it for me? Yes, ma'am.
I have noticed almost near accidents or probably having accidents where Goodwill, the light is for people come out of Goodwill, and then you have people coming from where Costco's is, and there have been.
I go out that way every morning.
There are some near accidents, and maybe traffic study, lights can be done, whereas when people park on Goodwill, that driveway, then they have a signal to turn left.
Yes,
On South Dakota Avenue or something like that, so because it really is a dangerous spot. And it's something.
But what happens is people get confused. because they use parking over there during the day. I think for a shuttle up to the hospitals or whatever. And I think sometimes people get confused when they're coming out, because I go through there every morning on my way out in the morning, and it's like a standoff. Who's going to make the turn? Fortunately, I'm in a police car, so it's usually me that gets
What it is,
you actually don't try to-
coming out before they can drive, and so who's ever coming out from Goodwill, it's not turned.
We can send something over to DDOT, if you send something over to DDOT and see if they can make a recommendation. Yeah, the Department of Transportation is responsible for the engineering part of the roadways and safety, so I'll send an email to Terry Bellamy, who's the director, and ask them if they can take a look at that too. It's something they can do to make that a little bit more common sense, because I'm telling you, it is a standoff. It is. All right. Thank you all very much, David. I got one more to do, then I'm done for the night. And my dog needs to be walked.
My suggestion with the traffic issue is to make sure that you hold the council members accountable to having a walkthrough, set up a date for the walkthrough, and that you will have a representative from DDOT come back out and show the copies of the petitions you had for your speed bumps, any issues that you had and you did the petitions for. Make sure you go back to backdate those, so when Councilman McDuffie, if you give it to Ms. Mobley, and like a copy of the ones you already had, so we can go back over those issues. So the DDOT will be part of the walkthrough, but they should be able to address on the day of the walkthrough what you actually asked for, especially with the lighting and with the stop signs, pedestrian stop signs and everything, even if you go into the traffic signs as well. And also, you need to set up a meeting with the developer for that whole area to make sure that they can see if they can answer your question regarding the security guards being there as well on the outside.
Okay, I'm just developing travel flow.
Travel flow.
So I'm also supposed to call, Mr. Williams about the road to street, like I mentioned.
He's the mayor's Ward 5 coordinator. Okay. So he definitely, I just sent him an email, he definitely should be at your meetings to know every issue that you have, and you also have his email address, so that way he can come out and speak to the things that need to be done over here as well, because he's supposed to work along with everyone to know exactly what's going on, the different issues from building maintenance to the issues that you're having within your development, to even to get in contact with Travel Pro with this, that if you wanted to talk about, you know, being separate from the shopping area, the phases, because you definitely need to know the phases of what's coming in. Those different things should be addressed, how they're going to handle security. Is there going to be security out there? When the mall closed, what time, you know, when the shopping area closed, will you see a car driving around that area? Because that's definitely is supposed to happen. Those are the things that you probably, they should talk to you about, especially, I know we have a representative here from Costco. He can only speak to his store, but as a collaborative effort of Fort Lincoln, they should be able to answer those questions. But Mr. Williams should be here at the next meeting, or you also have his email, and just send those things out because they need to be addressed.
What's his email?
It's MARCHIM Williams at dc.gov.
I did also send,
Because Carl Thomas was the former Ward 5 coordinator for the mayor's office.
pictures of the grounds. I did send
You did
pictures
send
of the whole area that we were concerned about being repaired.
And also, Mr. Williams' cell phone number is 202-340-7141.
That's his cell phone. Okay.
Yes, and you'll catch him a lot of times on his cell phone, email. He also
MARCHIM.
William. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Williams at DC.gov.
Yes, ma'am.
I have
I'm
a
sorry,
question.
ma'am.
Is Mr. Chief still involved with DDOT and with getting things coordinated with the traffic study grant?
Mm-hmm. Because they also will come out and do the common measures. So if you have requests of the, yeah, he can speak to that as well.
So when are they gonna start cutting the curbs or the things that they have proposed with the Costco stuff, you know?
I can't speak to that. I can find out about the curb cuts of those coming out, so we can have it at the next meeting. Just email it out when you email it to us. And just in case you all do not have my information, my email address is JAC. QUE. It's JACQUE, Manning, MANNING, the number 8 at AOL.com.
8.
Yes. My ANC email they have messed out emails up a little bit on the ANC, but that email address I just gave you comes to my cell phone. My cell phone number is 202-321-6708. My information is public information, so I won't be carrying the ANC phone.
Give me your email again.
Sure. JAC.
Okay. I got that part.
Manning, MANNING.
I got that. 8.
The number 8
Got that.
at AOL.com.
Okay.